Welcome. I am Annette Reeder from the Biblical Nutritionist.com, and today it's all about water. I'm always amazed in our coaching classes how many people don't understand how to be intentional about drinking water and the benefit of drinking water. And when they do, how everything changes. They start losing weight more, they start feeling great, and they start looking better. Well, that's what we're going to talk about today, is what are the benefits of drinking water. We're also going to touch on the biblical significance of water as well. I asked my mom one day, I said, would you rather look like a raisin or a prune? Well, she quickly started drinking water. See, I was taking care of her while she was recovering from surgery, and she just didn't want to drink any water, but yet she always liked looking beautiful. Well, she was pretty good at it too. And so she quickly started drinking water because she did not want to look like a raisin. Well, what about you? Do you want to look like a raisin or a prune? Okay. Our skin is not the first organ to show distress or from dehydration. Actually, our brain is, and we're going to talk about that today. So we're going to talk about why water is so important, how to get good quality water in your home, and also we're going to talk about some biblical stories around water. And at the end, I'm going to share with you my favorite flavored tea so you can add that to your water for more mental clarity and also a burst of energy. Now, water is the most essential nutrient. Essential to survive. So let's just look at this. Your brain is 80% water. Your muscles, including your heart, is 75% water. Your blood is 83% water. Your lungs are 90% water. And your skin is 64% water. Now, don't leave out the bones because they're 30% water. Now, which one of those systems or organs are you willing to sacrifice by not drinking water? Well, hopefully none of them. And so let's make sure we get a lot of good water in our day today. Okay, so let's think about this. I often wonder back in biblical days, did the moms, did they say to their young shepherd boys, hey, don't forget to take your water bottle with you when you go out to tend the sheep? Was that important? Or did they just know where to find the well or where to bring their sheep in for water? I'm sure it was just as important to them back then as it is today, but they probably didn't know you should have a glass or a steel, water bag. They probably just used, many of the water bags were made from the bladder of animals that had been killed. So aren't you glad we have steel and glass today? We're not drinking out of some animal's bladder. Yes, I kind of am. That was just a side note, thought you might be interested in. Many life-transforming stories in the Bible happened around a water element. So many stories happened around the Sea of Galilee and in those various towns where Jesus healed, where he fed the 5,000, where he walked on the water. So many stories. And yet when you go to visit Israel, you get to see the places where this happened. You get to see where all 7 springs come into the Sea of Galilee. And that's where the fishermen would have rinsed out their nets in that fresh water. And so that's where Jesus would have been right there on the shore with a fire going after he was crucified and rose from the grave. This fire going with fish on the grill, and they were fishing all night, and they come in and Jesus already has breakfast ready. There's so much happens around water. 2 of my favorite stories around water. One is, they're both in the book of John. One is where the man is along the pool of Bethesda, and the angel comes and stirs the water, and the first ones in get healed. Well, he had no help to get in. And Jesus comes along and he says, do you wish to be well? Well, Jesus healed him, even without the water, because Jesus cleansed him and healed him completely. And that question, do you wish to be well? God has given so many implements to use in our body to heal our body, but yet God is the one who heals. Doctors don't heal, medicines don't heal, supplements don't heal. God heals, and he created our body to heal. And yet water is an important element of that healing. Yet Jesus can heal with or without water, okay? Then remember the woman at Jacob's well in the heat of the noonday when Jesus was tired from his journey and he asked for a drink of water. And he told her things about her life that revealed to her that he was someone significant. Perhaps he was a prophet. Perhaps he was the Messiah. But then he offered her the living water, where she will thirst no more. And that living water is salvation through Jesus Christ. So water represents the offer of salvation. In Proverbs 18:4, it represents the wisdom that will fill us completely. In Isaiah 12, it is the symbol of salvation. In him are the wells of salvation. Isaiah 44, water represents the quenching of our thirst and the blessing of our offspring. In Isaiah 55, we learn nothing is needed to purchase this water of salvation. It costs you nothing. Water satisfies every system, every organ in our body, yet no physical water can satisfy our soul except salvation offered by Christ himself. So physically, water is paramount. And without enough water, we become dehydrated. Spiritually, the water of salvation is necessary. So let's look at the signs of dehydration physically. First of all, blood pressure changes. You have fatigue, flushed skin, headache, infrequent urination in dark yellow, even to orange urine, lightheadedness, dizziness, decreased coordination, loss of appetite, muscle cramping. Wow. Many people, they blame restless leg syndrome because they don't have that medication to fix it. Children have restless leg syndrome. Fidgetiness can be a lack of water. When we're chronically dehydrated, when we get dehydrated and we don't recognize it, we don't address it, we don't correct it, chronic dehydration leads to serious health problems, constipation, type 2 diabetes, and autoimmune diseases. It's been studied recently and proven that Parkinson's began 20 years earlier with constipation. We do not want to be constipated. We want healthy movements, all right? We live in a world that is polluted. Our food, our water, our environment. The solution to the pollution is dilution. I read that recently in a book and it makes so sense. The more we can dilute our body and keep it hydrated and watered and well nourished, the more we can remove any impurities that are in our body. So we must drink water, pure water, to keep our body clean and toxic free. Now, here are the top reasons why water is beneficial. First and foremost is our brain, all right? Many people are concerned about dementia and Alzheimer's. Well, let's hydrate our brain. When we are mildly dehydrated, it affects our moods, causes tension, causes anxiousness, depression, and anger. Just 2% dehydrated impairs our performance in a task that requires our attention. It can interfere with your immediate memory. It can lower the ability to concentrate. And adequate water intake lessens stress and anxiety, especially in children. Yet if you give your children juice or a Kool-Aid or something like that, you're contributing to the problem of anxiousness and stress and anxiety, and you're not helping him, you're not helping her by giving them juice. You're actually aggravating the situation. Second of all, your gut. Now, if you've been following me very long, you know I'm the queen of fiber. We must have fiber in our diet if we want to move things along, if we want to build our immunity, if we want to move out toxins. Well, fiber doesn't work unless you have water. They are twins. They're not really twins, but they're partners, and they must always be together. And so without water, fiber is a plug. So you don't want that to happen. When the gut is properly hydrated and fed fiber in the microbiome, it has a rich environment that prevents inflammation and strengthens the immune system. Fiber feeds the bacteria. Fiber only works with water. You have to have water. Water helps us maintain regularity. We should never have a book in the bathroom. We should not need a book in the bathroom. You should be in and out quickly. If you're not, you have problems with water or fiber, one or the other. When there is difficulty passing stool, that's because the body pulls the water from the colon. When your body's dehydrated, it pulls from the colon, and then you have hard stools. Now, I just read a quote from the 1800s, and it said, "The smaller the stool, the larger the hospital." I didn't make that up, although it makes perfect sense. All right, so that's number 2. Number 3 is your hormones. Hormones are greatly affected by dehydration. Hormones are recycled when they're not removed through the kidneys and the liver. So then we have poor detoxification, which leads to a hormonal imbalance. Hormonal imbalance, like I said, can be in kids or can it be in senior adults. And so the problem with both those age categories is kids will want more of a sugar drink, therefore leads to more dehydration. Senior adults just don't want to drink at all. And so it contributes to their memory loss by not drinking enough water. We just need them to get a lot more water in. Okay, so then next is skin. Skin wrinkles and shrivels when it's not fully hydrated. So if you want to look young and beautiful, skip the Botox and drink some water instead. And don't forget to sweat. Sweating and the use of a sauna is a perfect way to help your body do its job of healing. Sweating is the removal of toxins and it balances your temperature. So what I want you to do is I want you to try to sweat at least once a week. And it would actually be fantastic if you sweat every day. If you can get in your own infrared sauna, they make these infrared saunas that actually fold up and you can store it in your closet, pull it out and you kind of build this box and you sit in it. You can watch the news inside your own infrared sauna, you know, a good 10, 20 minutes a day. And you would be detoxifying and you would start looking even more beautiful. Your skin would start to glow. I realize right now it's summertime and we have an attic upstairs and we have a thermometer in our attic and it's running about 120 degrees in our attic. So I have a perfect sauna in my attic. I just have to set the timer, maybe 10 minutes, go in every day and I can go in and sweat. Sweat helps to cleanse heavy metals from your body, arsenic, lead, cadmium, mercury. And sweating helps to increase your glutathione. That's your master antioxidant. We taught you about that in the Treasures of Healthy Living DVD series. That is the major detoxifying antioxidant that you really need working for you. So remember this: drink, sweat, drink, live abundantly. All right? So when you do sweat, always rehydrate. Water out, water in. Fresh water in, toxins and water out. Just keep that in mind. Okay, the next system that requires water is your blood. Without water, blood clogs. Dehydration decreases the brain blood flow. So once again, the water in the blood is going to affect your brain. Water helps carry nutrients and oxygen throughout the blood. And also, drinking enough water helps decrease cancer risk, especially breast cancer risk by 70% and colon cancer by 45%. So, I hope I've inspired you to drink more water, but I have two more categories I want to share with you. One is aging. I kind of already led into this before when I talked about my mom. She wanted to look young. Well, the lack of water is associated with brain atrophy and brain shrinkage. It also leads to quicker cellular death and the shortening of your telomere lengths. Now, all of this attributes to aging. So if you want to slow down aging, drink more water. And last but not least, your kidneys and your liver. If you were offered maids to thoroughly come in and clean your house every night for free, would you do that? I mean, I would take it up in a heartbeat. I really would. Cleaning in my house is not my way of enjoying my day. I only clean enough that shows in the video. So you want to realize that when you drink enough water, your liver and your kidneys can do their job. And their job is to clean things up. And so if you're not drinking enough water, your kidneys will not work. Some people develop kidney stones because of lack of water. There's other contributors to kidney stones, but that is one of them. Another one is lack of magnesium. You've got to have magnesium in order for every system to work, including water. So we need to have that. So your liver and your kidneys, they do the dirtiest work. They clean out the toxins and they remove them to prevent buildup and to prevent recycling. Yet without adequate water, toxins get stored until you decide it's time to clean out the garage, which is what I refer to the liver. If you don't help clean it out, it just has to store everything in the garage until you're ready to clean it out. So water flushes toxins from the kidneys and it helps the liver to do its own cleanup of hormones and sluggish toxins. All right, so water is meant to physically cleanse and spiritually purify. How do we get better drinking water? Let me put it that way. All right, purifiers are vital for good water quality. Don't just trust the water that comes out of the faucet. If you have a refrigerator with a water purifier unit in it, you just slide the tube in. There are better quality ones than the one that came with your refrigerator, and you're not bound to that brand that came with your refrigerator. I'm going to add a link down below to a website that I am so excited about that I found, because it actually sells purifiers for your refrigerator that have a higher degree of removing of contaminants than the one that came with your refrigerator and the one the maker recommends. And so this system is a lot better. So I'm totally excited about that. Then they have water pitchers as well. So this is the water pitcher my husband and I purchased a couple months ago. So excited about this. We love how it has the carbon filters in it. It actually has a 7-stage process. Yeah, we looked for quite a while to find one that would meet our standards, and this is it. Then what we have always used is a under the sink counter water purification reverse osmosis. Now for years, we've had them in every house, and they're usually kind of a tank that sits under there, and it has the systems and all of that. Well, we found this one new one that we're so excited about. It is a tankless system, so it's going to take up less space underneath my kitchen counter, and it still has the spigot, and you get this. Let me share with you. Let me pull up my notes here. It has a 7-stage reverse osmosis system that removes chlorine, taste, color, sand, rust, solids, and other impurities, limescale, heavy metals, including fluoride and chlorine, bacteria and viruses, and more than 1,000 other harmful contaminants. All right. Whew, that's a lot. So we are so excited. We're getting that installed soon. And we've always had a system. The last system we had became outdated, and we could no longer get replacement parts for it. So I'm actually glad that it broke on us, because now I'm getting a better system, and it's very much you can do it yourself and installing it yourself. So I'm super excited about that. So I'll put a link to that down below. All right, so your body needs water. Your soul needs salvation, water. And so I really want you to take this to heart, what I'm sharing with you today. Please comment down below, what is your favorite way of making sure you get enough water in every day? There's 2 thoughts in how much water. One is drink half your body weight in ounces per day. The other is drink 8 to 10 glasses of water per day. They're both good. They're both going to work for you. Just get the water in.